What's up YouTube, it's Louis here bringing you today's cryptocurrency video on Bitcoin. I want to wish you guys all a very happy new year. May all your wishes come true. Literally, I don't know if I will be able to make a video tomorrow. I might be completely out of it, so bear with me guys. I will let you guys know how I'm feeling in the morning, but I'm not staying at mine tonight. I'm staying over at my friend's, so that is why I might not be making a video tomorrow. I'm going to be celebrating this hectic last year. It's been a very good year for me financially. This is the year where I came financially free, but obviously it was shit for the charts at the same time. The alts did well, Bitcoin not so much, but Bitcoin, I think, don't quote me, but let's check year to date. Let's check year to date. Year to date, how much is it up? So open the year there. So it's not even too bad, 66% now. Of course, we had basically 12 months of consolidation, but where are you going to make 60%, 66% in a year outside of crypto? It's going to be very, very hard in 1 year. Obviously, you can do it through trading, but if you would like investing in stocks, it'd be hard to, because on average, you make about the stock market makes about 9% per year. So monthly's closing today. It's doing exactly what we've been saying over the last few weeks. We want it to close either here or here, and this is where we're sitting on right now. Swing high turned into a swing low, resistance flipped into support. That's what we're seeing if Bitcoin's to close above the 12 EMA, of course, but above 47,000 basically. And this is what we've been predicting over the last weeks and month basically. So now we're going to take a look at the weekly time frame. No bearish cross with the 12 and the 20 EMA. So if it does not, we're going to get something called an EMA repel, where they do not cross over and form a bearish cross. If it were to form a bearish cross here, it just basically tells you you're going to come to that 55 weekly EMA, which we've done already with a wick. So if you're to do it again just with the bodies basically, maybe do something like this, but I'm not seeing that at the moment because the monthly is holding out nicely. And it doesn't matter if your alts look poop. As long as Bitcoin's holding that structure, that uptrending weekly and monthly structure, we're in a bull market. So as long as Bitcoin's in a bull market, the alts will get dragged up with it. If Bitcoin pumps 10k, 20k, 30k in 1 day, I'm not saying it will today, but if it does that, then of course you'll see the alts rallying up with it. So it doesn't matter how negative those charts look. Now let's take a look at the daily time frame, turn on these drawings. And yesterday or 2 days ago, we were saying how we wanted to close this candle over here. We did that, and then I said, it was like up for interpretation, but in yesterday's update I was basically saying to you guys that for me, even though it looks like it did close back inside, it's not convincing enough. It's not convincing. It's not a sufficient breakout for me anyway, for break back in, sorry. So that's why it's unconvincing break back in. So I was like, let's see how this daily candle ends up, and of course closed outside. So now on the new daily candle, you are holding, I don't even know what level that is, the 1474, 47k. You did go below it, got back above it, confirming it as support on the daily time frame with those wicks. On the 4 hour you'll see that a bit better. So we had some sort of fake out, and if you remember in yesterday's update, I was calling for this potential head and shoulders when we were down here. I said we might come up and form a right shoulder, so left head and right shoulder basically. I've called that before all the crypto YouTubers. They started calling it last night. I called it before it even started forming, and I think we've potentially broken out of it now. So this basically means that we've validated this pattern. So this is your neckline, and you're now broken the neckline. So of course you would like to see it back tested as support, but let's see if it will do that. Of course you're running into resistance now, the 20 EMA on the 4 hour time frame. I think just before I made this video we were all up here, so in the last like 5 minutes or so it started coming back down. So is this going to be respected as resistance? Even if it is in the short term, obviously we don't want it to be long term, mid-term resistance, because what I would like to see is come back down to support and then break back above, confirm its support, validating this ascending triangle. And of course once you break back in and break this 51 52k level, we drag this line from the bottom, because we broke down out of it, so that target's valid to the downside. But if we were to break back in it, confirm this is support, then break the resistance and confirm that support at 51 52k, then we will head to 61k. But of course, as we are outside at the moment, we need to look at its bearish target, and we went through it yesterday how the bearish target is sitting at 38.6k. so this is what we're seeing right now for Bitcoin. We need to see that break back in. Of course this is negative if it were to close like this, because you're getting rejected from the double brick wall EMA, the 55 EMA. But of course We come down now, close below this, you're closing below the double brick wall and the continuation EMA. So of course we don't want that, because that means you're continuing your downtrend basically. Let's get rid of that 12 EMA now. So I'm going to get you a technical target out of this inverse head and shoulders. So let's actually do it from the bodies. So your technical target would be just over here above that 55 EMA. You've come close to it, but you're feeling that 55, and that's what's happening right now. Of course, we've met this M patterns target, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to try and get as neat as possible. But with this inverted head and shoulders, I did tell you guys that once we broke out here, we were of course looking maybe for a retest here or just a higher low, and we didn't get that retest of this trend line. We just got that higher low of the right shoulder. So this could potentially mean that we're starting this uptrend, and what would act as confluence is that we've broken out of this falling wedge, and falling wedges are usually bullish patterns, and so you should actually go to the top of the wedge, and the top of the wedge is sitting at the resistance point of the larger ascending triangle, the neckline of the ascending triangle. But of course, until we get back inside, and we should do that because obviously we've had an inverse head and shoulders taking us inside the ascending triangle, but also falling out of the falling wedge, we have a technical target up here. So two reasons why we should break back into this ascending triangle and head to the resistance point. But of course, we need to watch out for those EMAs, because until we are above them, there's a high chance that we continue this rollover, because you're under the continuation trend line and the double brick wall. As long as you're below that double brick wall, you are in a downtrend. Look over here, you got above the continuation trend line, potentially continuing an uptrend or starting an uptrend, but you got rejected. You started feeling the 55, came down, got above the 20, back tested it, potentially forming an uptrend, but couldn't get through that double brick wall, continuing your downtrend, putting in lower lows basically. So the same thing should happen if you fail to hold this, fail to get above it, sorry, and hold it as resistance. We're going to continue that downtrend. However, if you fail to put in lower lows, then we are good basically. If you put in then a higher low, because at the moment you got a low, high, higher low, higher, high. So if we now put in a higher low on the neckline of this head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, then potentially we'll continue up even though we are respecting the EMA. So this is the only way to invalidate it basically. If we stay higher than this low is the only way we will invalidate further downside, because when you get rejected, you are basically meant to put lower lows, and that's what I've just shown you on the right over here. When you get rejected, you put in a lower low, lower than that low. However, look, you got rejected here, but you've just made a double bottom basically. You didn't obviously close below the bodies here, but not below these wicks. So of course you've now formed a double bottom. So that's what could happen here basically. As long as we're above this with the bodies and as long as we're above this point with the bodies, with the bodies, and then we will continue up basically, even if we do get rejected. So get rejected now, fall back to the the inverse head and shoulders neckline, we should be good for continuation. Of course, lose that, then we will continue lower. I'm going to turn on those Fibonacci's that I had on yesterday. So this was the first one. Okay, yeah. So we'll start with this one and I'll turn on the other one. So we measured from here, the swing low to the swing high. I have this range. I don't like measuring from the wicks, but I'm just going to do it anyway because of how big it is, but we'll just do it anyway. So your level to watch out for is the 618. As long as we're above this 618, we should see further upside. Lose it and you'll come to the 786, but we must, when we come to that 786, we must get back above the 618 and continue up. If you were to lose the 618, come to the 786, get rejected by the 618 again, like confirming as resistance, previous support into resistance, then we will see a minimal target of the 41,987. And of course, if you lose that, you've got technical targets to downside. This would be my target, the 1618, 36,700, but I'm not seeing this whatsoever. I'm just making you guys aware. If you lose certain levels, this is what I'd be looking out for. Your ascending triangles breakdown target is the 1414, 38,000. So you could just come down to here, bounce back up. But of course, your target always breaking out of the one is the 1618, although your ascending triangles target to the downside is there. So again, guys, I'm not looking at that target until we're below this, but technically speaking, you're on your way down here anyway because of the breakout. And of course, if you backtest as resistance, you should drop down like that. However, of course, if you come down, hold this support over here, there's a chance that you get back above, confirm this is support, head to the top, maybe get rejected again before heading up, and then obviously going to 61k. These are all the potential plays at the moment. So I'm going to get rid of these fibs now and show you the other one that we had from yesterday. So we measured from the swing low down here to the swing high, lowest point, not including this, basically the lowest point there, and you've come up impulsively, you come down exhausting before continuation. You actually lost the 618, so when you do that, you go to the 786, but you actually lost the 786. So there was some strength because something in between the 1 and the 786 stopped you from continuing down. This is positive. This is showing some strength, because when you lose the 786, just like with any fib level, when you lose a 618, you go to 786. So if you lose a 786, you should go to the 1. But something stopped us going to the 1. And that was this large resistance point, which I've had for literally since so early on in the dip. I've had this, and I just started dragging it and dragging it. So maybe over a month now I've been having this this trend line. And of course this was a falling wedge coming down. You broken out, come for that retest, and was trying to get back up. And of course that means that we're basically in a technical target, technically speaking, to 69k, and that's what I'm seeing for Bitcoin. Of course we need to see if this is going to continue. Lose this, then of course come to the 1, lose that, we're going down further. But at the moment, potentially we can invalidate this further downside to 38k if we break back into the ascending triangle. Of course confirm as support, but also staying above the 618. Of course right now I do need to see the retest of this neckline, but that would be losing the 618, so technically speaking you'd come to the 786 again. But if we could get back above, hit that, come back, support that, use that support, get back above, hold that 050, something like that. So remember this sort of play. If we can do something exactly like this, then we are good for continuation to the upside, and we won't see further downside, because it's all about the ascending triangles support, obviously flipping it back into support, as well as this falling wedge now support, which was previous resistance. So it's very positive to see this, because you can see bounces as resistance, bounces off the ceiling, and now bounces off support slash the floor. Basically you're bouncing off the floor, which was previously a ceiling. It's like going upstairs basically. So that's what I'm seeing right now for Bitcoin. Of course, to invalidate further downside, we need to see this 0618 hold basically, but of course we know that it could do something like this before continuation. Of course we would invalidate the 1 as long as we're above that 786, and we've found the reason why we're not going to the 1 at the moment, and that's because of that larger falling wedge, previous resistance now acting as support, meaning that we're in a target to 69k. And of course to invalidate that, you need to lose this support and then lose this support as well, because even if you do break back in, you're still in a bullish pattern which should break to the upside. However, of course you need to remember the ascending triangles breakdown target, and of course if you lose that 1 point, we're heading minimal to the 1618. But this is out of the smaller fib, don't forget we have that larger one as well over here. So yeah, so those, yeah, so the 2 levels and that 1414 out of the larger fib is what's lining up. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Wish you guys all a happy new year, and of course like this video, comment and share it with people that you want to people that you know that want to learn crypto. So perfect guys, I'll catch you in the next one, and as always, peace.